their game. The Blues with a man advantage right now. And
they bang around in front of that net. The rest of the players have a grip on one another.
a big save by Stanowski.
Got a skate on that. A great play with 44 seconds left. Rod Kelly and Jerry Butler meantime having a discussion. Kelly just got a right hand over the linesman's arm and passed it in, and now he's got Butler down on the ice and it's
Butler, 5 minutes for fighting. Blackhawk penalty number 25, Bob Kelly, 2 minutes for roughing and 5 minutes for fighting.
Failed and gets the post. There's the end of period one. And the crowd here, live and lively, applauding the action of that opening 20 minutes, which was jam-packed with entertainment. That's the end of the first period of play. It is Chicago nothing, St. Louis nothing, and we'll be back with our intermission after this. Their career with 502 goals is outlined in detail.
then $1 to 1840 Madison. Chicago 60612.
Chicago rookie John Savard puts away a rebound, and the Blackhawks have drawn first blood. A power play goal at 6:34. And the Screamers, Dave Wogan, came fluttering out of the stands there. Young John Savard has scored his third goal already as a rookie in the National Hockey League, and the Blackhawks are on the scoreboard. We'll get you the official announcement when it is made. Play is back underway. That is a power play goal. We'll give you that total for Chicago as well, as the Blues Federico moved right in, was dumped as he tried to get off his shot. Bob Kelly picked off, head back, down the left side, slid it to the St. Louis zone. It is broken up there by Jack Brown's title. Heading back now, Bourbonnais drive, a stick save by Esposito as Magnuson was trying to tie up Bourbonnais. Back at center ice, Federico for the Blues. Side steps one check, a second. Slides a left wing pass, Fetter winding up, firing it wide. There'll be a delayed penalty here to the Blackhawks. And now, as the Hawks recover the play, is whistled there. Here's the announcement of the goal.
Number 27, John Savard. Assisted by number 5, Phil Russell. At 6:34, Blackhawk goal.
There's the official announcement. We'll be back with more action right after this. Slider and try to pass, pull the trigger in a second try. The John Marks almost put it away himself, but it was Pierre Pont scoring a big second Chicago goal against his former teammate, the 2-0 Blackhawks.
The other event, on the ice, right. I thought I heard lumber rather than the metal metallic sound as well, so it led me to think it was, but in any event, it was saved.
It was a close call.
It sure was. So the draw at the blue line, of pass in front of backhand try Esposito down to one knee block. That shot by Federico. Up the right side, Pearl couldn't reach it. Kept in by Redmond trying to center. He was tied up by McKeeda, and Dale Callon flipped it out of danger. Just 3 seconds left in the period. 1-0. As time runs out with Federico in possession, there's the score. Ending the second period of play. We'll be listening to Chicago Tribune.
Dale stole the puck from Sealing and blasted it behind Spinowski. And the Flames have tied it 2-2. A mistake by the Blues in their own zone, and it results in a goal by the Big E, Eric Vale.
Well, Sealing was just to the right of Stanowski. He was
Unassisted Atlanta goal scored by number 27, Eric Vale. Time of the goal was a 50. Vale unassisted.
Set for a face-off.
Blackhawks draw first one and a goal at 6:07. And we'll have the announcement shortly as the Hawks take a 1-0 lead. Yes?
From here, it looked like John Savard tipped in the point. The shot from the point from Dale Talon, and Doug Wilson made a tremendous play on the left point to get that puck away in a hurry over to Talon. He fired it. From here, it looked like Savard would have tipped it in. We'll wait till they fifth one on.
And Wilson at 6:07.
It's well we waited, Jeff. There was a deflection.
Up the line, one man back, fires over top. Carrying it. Goes to the corner, lets it go, and it was gets it high. The Hawks. He couldn't get it over the top of the net. They moving in a backhander for a block. And the draw, and Harrison gets it for the screen. It's when it's to Harrison. The shot, Ferrante pours down. With Harrison piled up over top of goaltender Bernie Perron in that close call. Right at the final second of the first period. And so the score as both teams head for their respective dressing room, and a big pass applauding the Chicago Blackhawks, who lead after 20 minutes of play, 1-0 over the tough Philadelphia Flyers. We'll be back with our intermission section right after these messages. Let it go, and it just missed the left. Really shoots the save. Rebound, bang, bang. Shoots at the side of the net. A close call. We'll tell you a little bit. Loose to the slot, closing, back and right. Big stop by Perron. Being over top of the net, and there's no question. Perron didn't even have the line road of firing a pass. Well wide with that hard clearing. It down, bully shot. Fires from there. Grazed the outside of the left post. Picked up by Rhoda near the line. To the
face-offs are important. Plays on again, Ron.
Right off the face-off. Here we go with 1:05 left. And the crowd comes roaring to life. Harrison does flatten mark. Delayed penalty. Here's the announcement on the goal. There'll be a Chicago penalty as we await that announcement on the scoring play. The Hawks are already a man short, as are the Flyers.
Blackhawk penalty number 8, Jim Harrison, 2 minutes for cross-checking at 19:01. Blackhawk penalty, Harrison, 2 minutes cross-checking at 19:01. Blackhawk goal is first of the season, scored by number 11, John Marks. Jim Harrison at 18:48. Blackhawk goal scored by Marks.
A perfect face-off there as banker in the off-season, John Marks. Shoot! Big save by Bernie Perron. He's in his own zone. The play will end. A roaring Chicago Blackhawk crowd signifies their happiness and appreciation and pure fun. At the same time was saying a few words to the officials about what he thought should have been a hooking or tripping call in the late second of that second period. The penalties will carry over to the final regulation period after 40 minutes of play. It's the Chicago Blackhawks 2, the Philadelphia Flyers 1. Stay tuned now for our intermission. We'll be back right after this. As well as the Flyers are back on the ice at Chicago Stadium getting ready for the start. Shot, hit Rasmussen, shoot, take away. A goal, Perron, rebound shot, he stops it. Now steps back, shoot, high. Four step, shoot, he just hit. On the far side, next, hits it, shoot. Go from Armstrong getting ready. Now drops it. Makita got the draw. To the right point to Talon. Flicked it off the glass to the back of the net. Mark's trying to stuff it in from the... Towards Magnuson. 4 seconds. Mark's whacked at it. Launchbury blocked it 1 second. The game is over. And it ends as a tie. Some say a tie is like kissing your sister, but I suspect that both of us are happy with a point apiece. The Hawks naturally would have liked the victory in front of their home fans and go down to congratulate Mike Kaiser on his excellent work, as do the Flyers to Bernie Perrott. That's the end of the hockey game. We'll be back with a recap shortly. The final score once again. The Chicago Blackhawks 2, the Philadelphia Flyers 2. Stay tuned now for our wrap-up report.
Defeated Vancouver at Vancouver last night, or yesterday afternoon, I should say, by a score of 6-2.
This broadcast comes to you by the authority of Blackhawk Properties Incorporated. Any use of the descriptions or play-by-play without the express written consent of Blackhawk Properties is prohibited. The teams are on the ice, the Hawks in their basic home whites and the Cleveland Barons in their basic traveling red. Our guest tonight, as I mentioned, Harry Howell after the first third, and we hope to have a visit with Bobby Crom, who is here with Ted Lindsay, the Detroit Red Wings front office. We'll be back with the starting lineups and other pregame information, and we'll be ready with a play-by-play of tonight's game in just a moment. Not get away a good shot as it tipped at the puck. Mark backhand, but and it was wrong. Listening up in the Montreal area in Quebec province, Canada tonight, and their youngster just set up a fine goal there to make it 1-0 Chicago very early in the game. We're back underway. It is a penalty call as play is whistled down, and Tony the announcement. 2 minutes for holding at 2:33. Maybe penalty Reader, 2 minutes holding at 2:30. Scored by number 18, Darcy Rhoda. Assisted by number 27, John Savard. At 2:20, Blackhawk goal scored by Rhoda, assisted by Savard. And here we go. It is 1-0. Here's the end of the line. The blue line getting set, shoot! And he just missed. Was tipped by their Blackhawks. Banged up by Kelly. And by off a pass to Hart. Got it. And Gerard fell right man back, baby. And a broke that tremendous job that he did. The Barons ball without his stick. Got it stirred. Firing from the side as he fell. And Carlson recovered it behind and 6 left his first period play.
A tremendously exciting shift put on there.
Out of the left post. Deflected it by Gil Malak to give the Hawks a 2-1 lead at 17-18. And it is Bolderev's first goal of the regular season. He led the club in preseason games with 6, and he's a mighty happy man. 2-1, Chicago.
By number 12, Ivan Bolderev. Assisted by number 3, Keith Magnuson at 17-18. Blackhawks.
The Chicago rookie defenseman sends it down the length of the ice. Baby back forth, tied up by Mark, as the horn sounds, ending the third period of play. Stay tuned for our visit with Harry Howell, the general manager of the Cleveland Barons. The score after 20 minutes of play, the Chicago Blackhawks 2, the Cleveland Barons 1. Let's pause now for these messages. Toronto's back at Chicago Stadium as the Barons return. The Hawks are already on the ice, fully skating around, awaiting the arrival of the Barons, who are now just about all out there. Getting set As Stewart put it right on his stick, now broken up. Makita took it off McAdam. Up deep right in front, Mulvey closing. Getting set. A big save by Malone. He didn't see it. Bully bangs at it. It's still in front of the net. Back in there. Big save by Malone. Makita with him is Kelly. Up across the line. Left. Over to Kelly. Going to shoot to left. In front for Coral. Tipped by Marouk. Out in his line. Right on in front for Rhoda. With the deep. Chicago offense is percolating here tonight. They have a 5-1 lead with 5. The streaking Chicago Blackhawks will be tested tonight by one of the biggest and potentially roughest clubs in the National Hockey League tonight. The Chicago Blackhawks hosting the Atlanta Flames. This WCFL Chicago Blackhawks broadcast is brought to you by Anaheim. A disadvantage from...
I agree with you because I listened to the game last night, a point that you made that I thought was very well taken when you pointed out earlier in the game he's going to put a little pressure on the Blackhawks as far as the way they're playing. They're playing good, solid aggressive hockey. I don't think they're playing the intimidation that a lot of people say they are, but being aggressive, I think the referees are going to look out for them.
And Lou, how about the starting alignment for tonight's game?
Well, tonight Atlanta Flames are going to start Dan Bouchard in goal, and Barry Gibbs is going to be on defense.
Where's Ivan Boldareff? Brian Lewis dropping the puck, and Boldareff got the first draw. To Wilson, to Talon, having a Boldareff. He was tied up, coming up the top, but it is a two-line. Also shoots. Bouchard move. Punt. One man back. He's got a winger, Harrison. Return pass, smothered by Downey Bouchard. Mulvey trying to come out in front. They're shadowing him there. Now try. Down goes Bouchard. They jam it. And referee Brian Lewis says, no, it did not go in. And play his whistle down with Bully. Getting set. Beat Bully. It's not scored. Drawn first blood, a two-on rush, beautifully engineered by Ivan Boldareff, Lou.
Certainly was. Ivan's the kind of guy that can really make that puck talk on his stick. And when you're giving up 2-on-1s like that, we had one earlier there when Harrison went in with Plunge. You keep giving up 2-on-1s with guys like that. That was well executed. Ivan looked like he was going to shoot the puck at the net. He waited for Bouchard to come out to cut the angle down. He just slid it right across the Ted Bully that was in the net.
And on the shot, it slid away on in front. Block. Here it is.
Scored by number 29, Ted Bully. Assisted by number 12, Ivan Boldareff. And number 22, Grant Mulvey. At 8:42.
Screen shoots, rebound try over the stick of shot, subbed up high by Blue. To Rhoda. Rhoda closing to the cornerback. Savard right on it. Shoots Bouchard down and ties it up. Fires to the far corner. Coming in front. Knocked away by Zaharko. Magnuson shot it. It hit Marks. Trying to feed to Makita. Back to the corner to Wilson, but Chad has a split to defense, and he was just turned around to the last second goal. Mulvey breaks wide, shot it behind it on, and it was closing with a shot. It is blocked. It was a Billy. That was blocked in front as it hit Makita, who was being tried up by Mulhurst. 2-on, flipped the shot high. Filipov coming back forward as time runs out. That's the end of the first period. Stay tuned as Lou Angotti will be guesting with well-known hockey writer, sports authority, Bob Verdi of the Chicago Tribune. The score after one period of play here at the stadium in Chicago tonight. The Blackhawks won. The Atlanta Flames nothing. Let's pause for these messages. This is Ron Oates with Lou Angotti and Jeff Ward of WCFL Chicago getting ready for the second period. The Hawks will take a 1-0 advantage into the second period of play. Before we get into that, we had a message to pass along the Gunzo after undergoing major surgery, a football injury, and we wish him a speedy recovery. We'd like to welcome all of our listeners wherever they happen to be tonight. Certainly enjoy hearing from you wherever you happen to be. Our originating station, WCF. As he fired it in, he used the decoy perfectly and pulled the trigger on. This is Lou Angotti and Jeff Ward. This is Ron Oates at Chicago Stadium as Mike Pfizer comes into view from the Chicago Blackhawks dressing room to our left, leading the Hawks onto the ice, getting ready to try. It seemed to go very suddenly. Yeah, it looks like Brian Lewis. I think he lost sight of the... Chicago Blackhawks remaining undefeated at home, and the Atlanta Flames winless on the road settle for a 3-3 tie. Let's pause for these messages. Behind the Atlanta net. On comes Magnuson off, goes Murray in front, goalie shoots, blocked,
Here come the Hawks, the mighty Blackhawks. Take the attack, you're lying, we'll back you Blackhawks. You're flying high, now go, let's wrap it up. Let's go, you Hawks, move on, down on the Hawks. Here come the Hawks, here come the Hawks, here come the Hawks, here come the
Chicago Stadium is on its way to capacity proportions here tonight for an occasion. The occasion being the appearance for the first time this season of the defending Stanley Cup champion Montreal Canadiens. The Chicago Blackhawks, who last night had an 8-game undefeated string snapped in Pittsburgh, will test themselves against hockey's premier team. Good evening, everybody.
Montreal in almost 7 periods of hockey, and it was a goal well deserved. You got to give a lot of credit to Bully and Bovey. That puck started in the corner. They had 2 men on the net. On the puck, they went around behind and out. Outfront the Montreal Canadiens, both Bully and Bovey. I think it was Bully that finally got control of it, threw it out in front, and Ivan just flipped the backhander right past Ken Drive, and the score is now tied 1-1 with 3:43 left in the second period.
Scored by number 12, Ivan Bolderev. Assisted by number 22, Grant Mulvey. And number 29, Ted Bully. At 16-17.
It is a brand new game, and from the face-off, the Hawks try to break. Big play by third center. Oh, they kicked away by goalkeeper Derry Air, and the play was whistled on as the period comes to an end. And the fans applauding the entertainment that they have seen here in the first 2 periods. Don't go away, because Lou has 2 of the ice show world superstars in Peggy Fleming, the former Olympic gold champion of the United States and a star of Ice Follies, and Mr. Debonair, the star for so many years of Ice Follies, which open here next week, Richard Dwyer. Stay tuned, and we'll be back. Around, they close over the line. Foley wins. Pull it. Trigger. Fire. Hit. Way up. Turned around. He centered it in front. It bounced upright, and I believe
6:07 remaining. The Chartier line is out. All right, off the jaw now. Bryan kicks it to the right side. Plays behind the net for Bossy. He was right behind the net. Bossy tries to sneak it in. That's it by Chartier. Island to goal. Island to goal. Bossy threw it in front. Chartier tipped it in, and the game is tied at 2. There plays off the boards. Not out. Kept in by Dennis in the slot.
Slow there right now. 35 degrees. We have a nice time. It's 7:30. Here come
Chicago Stadium tonight for the Chicago Blackhawks Montreal Canadiens event. Good evening, everybody. This is Ron Oakes with Lou Angotti and our engineer Greg Stone at Chicago Stadium for this momentous game. It is always a momentous event when the Montreal Canadiens come to town. And this WCFL Chicago Blackhawks broadcast is brought to you by 7-Up, the Uncola. But from hockey at Chicago Stadium ends tonight. Should be an outstanding contest. We'll come back with starting lineups and some pregame chatter with Lou Angotti right after these messages. Just coming onto the ice at Chicago Stadium have defeated the Hawks twice for a grand total of 2 goals. Terrific series so far this season. 2 of the games have been played in Montreal, and now led by Tony Esposito, out come the Hawks. Lou Angotti, are we going to be seeing a preview of the Stanley Cup playoff series here tonight? Is that a possibility?
Well, Ron, I like to think that we're going to see an indication that we've got certainly some playoff atmosphere right here tonight with the Chicago Blackhawks and the Montreal Canadiens. The game we saw here this year, earlier in the year, one of the better games that the Chicago Blackhawks played. Unfortunately, that game was turned around in the last couple of minutes, but let's hope we don't see that happen here tonight. But I think we're expecting a pretty good hockey game here. I think the Blackhawks are ready, and they're preparing themselves for the playoffs. And, you know, we're going to miss Cliff Falls tonight. Montreal Canadiens.
And it was blocked by Dryden, centered in front by Bully. And Mulvey could not get contact. 3 on 2. Rhoda closing to Bowman. The shot. Skate save by Dryden, centered in front for Bordelot by Rhoda. And it was intercepted. Jarvis heading back. Left outside comes LaPointe to take the shooting. And it was punched away by Esposito. Up halfway through the crease. And it went to the far board. It is Mark tapping it over to Makita. Gave it a fair point. Turns up to and put away by Pierre Pont, who's had a long famine of goals. And right away, Scotty Bowman was about to haul off that scoring line. It is tied at 1-1. Lou Angotti at 5-12, and an excited crowd here.
Well, John Marks was a guy that kept the play inside the Montreal blue line, but it was good play by Makita.
Scored by number 15, Pierre Plant. Assisted by number 11, John Marks, and number 21, Stan Makita.
1-1, and we're back underway. Naira fires to the hot corner right out in front to Rajon Houle, and he tipped it wide of the Chicago net. Logan and LaRouche got tangled up over there at the far side as the Hawks clear it. Back in the Montreal zone, Naira pass between his legs to the corner. The Bully centering, went to the far side. Murray tipped it ahead to Mulvey. Fires from there, kicked away by Esposito. Rather by Dryden. It's been behind the Montreal net. Hawk pressure. Mulvey from the side. Behind the net to Bolderich. Out in front, it was tipped and broken up by Montreal. They break out 4. They pass the goal right and gets it to score. Rajon Houle puts Montreal right back on top 2-1. As the Canadiens broke away on a 4-on-2 break. The goal comes at 6:24, and we'll be back right after this.